Howdy gamers, I have fallen ill again, so my voice sounds a little deep fried, okay? This video is sponsored by Bethesda. They actually reached out the other day and were like, hey Artea, wanna build a house in ESO for us? And I was like, yeah? And they were like, sweet, epic. Oh, also, could you visit a home that has been put together by this really cool ESO content creator? And I was like, dude, are you kidding? That sounds like a great time to me. So here we are. But before we delve into the video where I'll transform this plain looking ESO home into a cozy Bosmeri abode, let's quickly knock out the sponsored message. The Elder Scrolls Online just dropped a free update. Update 43 introduces the Home Tours feature, a new way to visit and show off player homes. ESO's housing system is pretty extensive. There's a vast assortment of homes to choose from to act as the canvas for your designs, and then you can purchase or craft furnishings to bring your creations to life. Now, you'll be able to share your neat ESO homes with others by listing them through the Home Tours interface. We'll take a closer look at that later in the video. This update has also added more depth to the Infinite Archive, an endless PvE arena that you can tackle solo or with a friend. In this update, you can expect new maps, enemies, verses and visions, loot, and class item sets. But let's bring it back to the real endgame content for this video. That's right, I'm talking about I love it when games have housing and building systems. I can easily sink tens, if not hundreds of hours designing living spaces for me and my friends' characters. It's super satisfying and in many cases also super beneficial for other facets of the game, like crafting. ESO's housing system is no exception, but I'd have to say that I'm a far better interior decorator than I am an architect or a landscaper, and for that reason, I'm going to be focusing on decking out the interior of a small, cozy, classic ESO home, the Snugpod. After you complete the simple room to spare quest in ESO, you can grab this Bosmeri abode for only 45k gold. ESO players always say that Snugpod is one of the best utility homes in ESO, and that's because it provides players with an easy free port to Grotwood at any time. But despite all the praise that it gets for being such a goated utility home, I don't often see too many players sharing pictures of their fully furnished Snugpods. In fact, I've seen a fair amount of players suggest that decorating the Snugpod home's actually kind of tricky because of its peculiar shape and restrictive size. So that's the home that I'll be tackling today. So since we're going to be decorating a Bosmeri themed home, I'd like to gather a bunch of furnishings that complement this aesthetic. There are a bunch of new Wood Elf themed furnishings that dropped with the Gold Road chapter recently, so I'll definitely grab some of those. Some other furnishing styles that I think could work well here are the Markarth or Reach furnishings that come from the Markarth DLC, the Telvanni themed furnishings from the Necrom chapter, and the Druidic furnishings from the High Isle chapter. You don't need to own any chapters or DLCs to get furnishings or furnishing recipes, by the way. If you own these DLCs, you can farm their corresponding furnishing plans and then sell those or learn them to craft furnishings yourself, but you can always just buy furnishings from guild traders instead, which is what I usually do, and that's what I'm going to be doing for today's build. So something I know I want to try to do here to make use of all the vertical space that this home has is to see about creating a second floor somehow. Ultimately, I'd like for this Snugpod to have all the essential components of an Elder Scrolls home. I'm talking like a kitchen, living room, bedroom, and yeah, even a bathroom, which is something that seems to be missing from a lot of homes in the TES games. Have y'all ever noticed that? I've seen some pretty swanky cobbles that ESO players put together of like toilets or electric stoves, and while I love how they look, and I love how creative people can get with these things, I'm gonna try to stick to more lore-friendly designs for maximum immersion. And no, that's not just a cope for the fact that I'm not talented enough to create cobbles like that, okay? So I'm gonna try to set up some kind of staircase and upper landing first before I really get started with the build. Something that I like to do is browse the crown store just to have like a full catalog of items at my disposal here. And then if I spot something that I like these stairs here, I'll look it up online and see what I can do to buy it for gold. You have the option to buy furnishings with crowns or with gold if you hit up the guild traders or furnishing NPCs. Okay, I'm actually very bad at this. Listen, I don't give a shit if you can kite an entire 24-man ball group around a resource tower in Cyrodiil, brother. I don't give a damn how many trial trifectas you have, okay? Have you tried aligning furnishings together so that they line up perfectly with each other? That requires so much skill, dude. No wonder they say housing is endgame. Another thing I usually do whenever I decorate an ESO is kind of just throw down all the furnishings that I'm pretty sure I'm gonna use all over the place so that I can see them all. Then I can go ahead and put them in place later. at some point.
That's a problem for future me to solve.
I really like adding clutter to my housing builds. I feel like it makes any space immediately look more lived in and homely. I don't know how to make sense of it, but anytime I add clutter to my ESO homes, it somehow makes the place look more aesthetic. But the clutter in my IRL home just makes it look more fucking depressing. A really handy thing that you can do in ESO is link a bunch of furnishings together, which is super useful if you're like me and you're frequently moving furnishings around and you don't want to reposition the 200 pieces of clutter that were on top of those furnishings, you know? Listen, I'm really not the best when it comes to creating furnishing cobbles, which is when you essentially combine multiple furnishings together to create something new. But if I could offer some advice to the newer ESO housing enthusiasts watching the video, if you just let yourself think a little out of the box a bit and use furnishings in kind of an unorthodox way, I think you'll find that you can add a nice unique touch to your creations. More specifically, I would highly recommend rotating furnishings around to see if that sparks some creativity. Sounds pretty random, but you'd be surprised at how many furnishings can be repurposed to be something completely different if you just flip them upside down. Alright, now that I'm pretty satisfied with everything that I've put together, I think it's time for a Not too shabby for something I whipped together in just a few hours, eh? I mean, I'd live here, sure, why not? I don't know about the whole bathroom situation, but it's not bad. Looks a lot nicer than my apartment, that's for sure. I also went ahead and added this home to the home tours feature, so now anyone can visit it easily just by looking up my user ID. Or you may find it if you peruse the cozy or role-playing tags. Alright, for the next part of the video, I'll be... To check out Kattatonia's home, I opened up the Home Tours interface via the Group Finder menu and entered Kattatonia's user ID. I'll be checking out the exercised Coven cottage that she whipped up for the purpose of this video. She'll be visiting my home, and I've been tasked with visiting hers. Ooh, I like what she did with the place. Normally this home has a bit of a moody, dreary vibe going on, but I feel like she really made the place look more whimsical and enchanting. Usually this place comes with like a pre-built witch's hut, but Kattatonia built this neat tower with a windmill right on top of it to hide it completely from sight. Oh, I already know what this is. Yep, a slide. Love that. I think you can do that by messing around with some structural roof furnishings, I'm pretty sure. Sweet, yeah, that was a really cute build. If you want to take a look at other homes made by ESO players, definitely check out the Home Tours feature in-game. I see that Kattatonia gave her home the cozy tag like I did. You can actually search for homes by tags too if you'd like to get some inspiration for a certain kind of vibe that you'd like to have in your home. Let's take a look at this other cozy Snugpod to conclude the video. Oh nice, this person made their Snugpod like a real utility home. They've got the crafting stations and everything. I like that they made use of the vertical space by adding a second and third floor. That's definitely the move with this house. I look forward to touring other players' homes soon. I actually have a few videos up my sleeve that have to do with the Home Tours feature, so we'll see if those end up coming through. But that's all for today. Thank you all for watching. Thank you once again to Bethesda for sponsoring this video, and thank you to my YouTube members for the extra support with all of my videos. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.